Right now at 6 o'clock, half a dozen businesses hit by a group of burglars in Berkeley.
Then I saw this next door, same thing happened.
The cleanup, and now the surprising move by the business owners.
But since this, I don't think we feel that comfortable to work.
Plus the dueling Prop 50 campaigns running out of time to convince voters.
This is our last chance.
Less bipartisanship, less common ground.
We'll look at who is actually funding one of the priciest races in California history. And we'll meet an autistic man who spends his days taking care of tasks for neighbors.
I like helping people.
But who's going to take care of him when his parents no longer can?
We've looked at private options and they are unaffordable.
The new housing plan that could give him a safer future. And later, red and gold frights.
So the response has been very positive.
We'll take you to the front lawn Halloween display showcasing the 49ers' scary injury report.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Good evening. Tonight, half a dozen restaurants in Berkeley are dealing with a real mess after thieves smashed their windows and burglarized their businesses overnight. All 6 restaurants are just off the UC Berkeley campus. Happened in a couple of clusters. 3 of the businesses are on University Avenue, and then the other 3 are on Durant, which is just south of the campus. All 6 had similar damage. So Kelsey Thord spent the day talking with owners and employees from some of those businesses. And right now she joins us live from Berkeley with how they're dealing with these burglaries. Kelsey.
Hey, Julia. Yeah, well, here's one right behind me. You can see that this window is boarded up. This Italian restaurant, before they put that board up, had a massive hole in the window where these thieves broke in. Right next door, this donut shop was also broken into. And as you said, these were just 2 of 6 total break-ins that happened overnight, and police believe they were all related.
We have more than 10 years like working in this area, and that's never happened here. So
Michaela Val was shocked when she got the call Thursday morning that the donut shop she works at, Kingpin Donuts off Durant Avenue in Berkeley, was broken into and robbed overnight.
and it was all smashed. All the showcase, it was broken. We have to drop all the donuts it was in there because it was full.
Kingpin was one of 3 businesses on that same block, all broken into around 4 a.m., according to police. An hour later, police say 3 more restaurants just down the road off University Avenue were also broken into, it appears, by the same suspects.
I came here at 6 o'clock. I saw the police cars and the investigation. I said, what happened? So the glass is broken. I said, what happened? They said, yeah, don't touch anything. They have to take a picture.
Roy Neruzzi has owned Cafe Rio for 20 years. His front door was shattered by the thieves.
And get in and get the cash register and cigarette and make a mess.
Just next door at Bobby G's Pizzeria, Juan Castillo came to work to find the same thing.
The windows from the door was broken, and then I look around a little bit, and then I saw this next door, same thing happen.
Every business we spoke with said their windows or doors were shattered and cash registers stolen. Berkeley police say the investigation remains ongoing. In the meantime, employees like Michaela at Kingpin Donuts say the whole thing has her pretty shaken up.
It's bad because we should be safe in this area, but since this, I don't think we feel that comfortable to work this area.
Now, even though Michaela says she doesn't feel that safe anymore, they still were able to open on time this morning. And Juliette, this is a bright spot, I guess, in this story. Every single one of these 6 businesses still open today. So that's, of course, great news for them to be able to bring in that income during this time because they're going to need it for all these repairs.
Absolutely. It's right by the university. I'm just curious. We did see a bunch of surveillance cameras, so I'm hoping they have some footage.
Some of the restaurants do. You know, the employees that we were talking to while they were there, it was fresh. We had just gotten there a few hours after they had learned that this happened. So most of them had not even seen the surveillance video yet, but I'm sure the police have it. And, these businesses are going to look into it as well.
Absolutely. And good job on them for opening up. All right, Kelsey, thanks so much. The government shutdown is certainly taking a toll on federal employees who are forced to work without pay. So that includes TSA workers in Oakland. And tonight, they are turning to the food bank for help. The Alameda County Community Food Bank held a makeshift food drive inside the airport break room today. So they delivered boxes of pantry staples, fresh produce, and eggs.
One of the things that we try to do at the food bank is be prepared for whatever type of situation that's occurring in our community. In this scenario, what we're trying to do is just ensure that families who could go without have what they need.
Oakland airport officials tell us nearly 300 employees are working for free right now, and that includes TSA, Border Patrol, and air traffic controllers. Meantime, the government shutdown will stretch into at least Monday. The Senate adjourned for the week after failing for the 10th time to advance a spending bill to end the shutdown. Meantime, we are less than 3 weeks out from the California special election that could reshape the balance of power in Congress. So on November 4th, Californians will vote on Prop 50, which would give the state legislature, instead of the current independent committee, the power to redraw House districts. So you should have already received your ballot in the mail, but that's probably not the only thing you've gotten related to Prop 50. I'm talking about flyers in the mail, fundraising text messages. Have you gotten those? And commercials running all day on TV. It's already one of the most expensive races in state history. But who's funding these campaigns? We asked our Lauren Toms to follow the money.
It's a statewide ballot measure that's not only triggering a special election, but Prop 50 is drawing eye-popping sums of money. And for San Francisco voter Renee Block, it's not about the dollars behind it, but the mission he says it represents.
No House, no Senate, no White House, no courts. This is our last chance.
Every weekend, he's hitting the pavement from the mission to the sunset, trying to cut through the flood of advertising and political noise.
And people are confused, and if they stay home or if they don't vote for the proposition, we can lose this opportunity.
As his T-shirt states, Block plans to vote yes on Prop 50, the proposal to temporarily redraw California's congressional map to add 5 Democratic-leaning seats in the House and boost Democrats' chances to flip control of Congress. But behind the grassroots effort is a tidal wave of cash. State campaign finance reports show spending at nearly $215 million, $134 million for and $78 million against, passing spending records for the rideshare Proposition 22 in 2020 and the 2022 gambling fights, Props 26 and 27, which shattered records at over $450 million combined.
And California ballot measure elections are basically the most expensive elections in the United States, not called a presidential election.
Sonoma state political expert David McEwen says the final price tag, including the cost of the special election and legal challenges to come, could top $500 million.
This is going to be maybe not the most expensive ballot measure in California history, but it'll at least be number 2 and has the potential to be number 1. Why that's important is this is a setup for the 2026 midterms.
Most of the yes side cash is flowing from national Democratic groups, including the House Majority PAC and labor unions, viewing Prop 50 as a test run for the 2026 midterms. The no side is largely backed by the Republican-leaning Congressional Leadership Fund and conservative donors like Charles Munger Jr., but notably missing so far is any money from the Trump political committees.
Proposition 50 threatens what voters built.
Even without such funding, Republicans in the state like Congressman Kevin Kiley argue the new map takes away their representation.
I think it'll only lead to less bipartisanship, less common ground, and even greater division in this country.
And for all the millions spent on airwaves and mailboxes, volunteers like Renee are investing what he says money can't buy.
People that contribute to understand that this is our last chance to preserve democracy.
As we head toward Election Day, we'll stay on top of this important issue. Next week, we'll be looking at how these new district lines were drawn. All right, turning to San Jose, where police say a garbage truck hit and killed a man who was lying on a driveway covered in blankets. Happened just after 4 o'clock this morning along Bascom Avenue near a strip mall east of Los Gatos Creek. Police say the driver is cooperating in the investigation. Tonight, BART police are following a potential lead into a recent stabbing at the Daly City station. The transit agency just released these photos. They want to know if you recognize this woman you see there. She's wearing a red shirt with the number 88 and a 49ers hat. BART police did not call her a suspect and did not say exactly how she could be connected to the case. The stabbing happened a month ago on September 17th around 3 p.m. Our chopper was over the scene. A man was hospitalized. So far, no arrests. All right, still ahead here at 6, we'll introduce you to an East Bay family hoping a new housing development could provide the specialized care their autistic son needs.
He needs to be in an environment where he is safe. That is the most important word to me.
Plus, tiny bricks worth thousands of dollars stolen. What we're learning about a local Lego bust.
Keep our fingers crossed no one else gets hurt because we don't have any more skeletons to add.
Oh, and we'll meet a 49ers fan turning the team's long injury list into a Halloween spectacle. Okay, take a look at this site. Santa Rosa police arrested a suspect connected to a large-scale Lego fencing operation. So, detectives say 39-year-old Robin Lopez was the ringleader in an operation to steal, then resell expensive Lego sets. Where are they? Okay, look, there they are. Well, while searching his home, police found several unopened boxes of new Lego sets. That means there's more money to sell, along with tens of thousands of Lego pieces in bins scattered around the home. And that includes this massive display of Lego heads organized by facial expression. They also found 3 loaded guns. So Lopez is now facing a number of charges, including organized retail theft and firearm possession while being a felon. In San Francisco, safety upgrades at the West Portal station are now complete. So it comes more than a year after a car crash killed a family of 4. So you'll see planters, they were added to act as barriers, and polka dot street murals mark pedestrian zones outside the station. This is in the area of West Portal Avenue. Back in March of 2024, a Mercedes SUV struck a bus stop near the Muni station, killing 2 parents and their 2 young children. The driver, 79-year-old Mary Fong Lau, faces felony vehicular manslaughter charges. She's pleaded not guilty. A nonprofit in Contra Costa County just received $20 million in state funding to build permanent housing for those with intellectual and developmental disabilities. It was a very creative and competitive process. More than 165 projects across the state applied. Only 30 were selected. Our Suji Nam spent the day with one Lafayette family whose son lives with autism, and they shared how this new community could change their lives.
That one, that one, that one.
For the past 17 years,
I'm showing you the garbage.
Chris Treat has been taking out his neighbor's garbage bins.
They've been gone since September 22nd. I knew their black and blue can would be empty.
You'll find him diligently taking out the trash once a week.
I like helping people.
Chris is 31 years old. He was diagnosed with autism when he was nearly 3 years old.
And what if Dad and I told you that's called?
All back on memory.
His mother Nancy says he has a rare gift, knowing the days and dates of something even random that happened in his life.
April 16, 2022.
When his brother played baseball.
A Saturday.
Chris lives with his parents.
There you go. We do this once a week to help keep his scalp clear.
Nancy and her husband Steve have been desperately searching for a community that supports those with developmental disabilities.
We've looked at private options and they are unaffordable.
With no luck, it's forced them to look for out-of-state options.
He needs to be in an environment where he is safe. That is the most important word to me.
But now there is hope. Sunflower Hill, a nonprofit organization, announced they received nearly $20 million in state funding to build permanent supportive housing for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities in Lafayette. Founder Susan Houghton says the goal is to build 48 units, but still needs more funding before construction begins.
Hope for the future that your loved one can live independently, but also not unlike senior living in a very supportive activities-based location, where if they want to go down and take a cooking class, they can. If they want to do yoga, it's there. If they want to garden, there's that opportunity.
Opportunity for Chris to grow.
Part of the question is why don't we just keep him at home? It works so well here. That'll work as long as it works, but we're not going to live forever. which is why we need to find him a place.
While Chris will need to join the lottery system for Sunflower Hill housing, they are optimistic.
He's going to get to the other end of the tunnel. There's going to be a light.
And Chris, too, is excited.
My family, my friends, my program.
Holding on to the hope for a comfortable and safe future.
Sunflower Hill, a great organization, also in Pleasanton, too. It says in this case, it's about halfway through the funding project's construction, which is expected to take about a year. The nonprofit also plans to apply for more housing grants, plus tax credits, and even possibly federal loans. No date yet on when they think the doors will open. A different kind of care in the South Bay. For the first time in 5 years, new moms in East San Jose will be able to deliver babies at a hospital close to home. Regional Medical Center is restoring labor and delivery services and its life-saving neonatal ICU starting on Monday. Santa Clara County took over ownership of the hospital 6 months ago and has been steadily restoring departments that were cut by the previous owner to save money.
After a gray and damp first half of the work week, abundant sunshine returned to the skies over the Bay Area, but temperatures were still below normal in the 60s and the lower half of the 70s. But we're going to take a jump up tomorrow. We'll take a look at that's going to stick around into the weekend, and I'll figure out if I can form a sentence. That's coming up in the First Alert Forecast.
It has become an annual California tradition, the Great Shakeout Drill. Today at 10:16 a.m., anyone with the Shake app might have gotten an alert to practice responding to a real earthquake. Outside Oakland City Hall, the big shaker truck was there to demonstrate what to do. And then over at UC Berkeley, the Seismology Lab held an informational fair to teach students how to be prepared. Good timing as well, because get this, a magnitude 3.0 earthquake struck on the Cal campus around 9:30 this morning, about 45 minutes before the Great Shakeout Drill. How did they coordinate that?
Just a little warm-up.
That was a warm-up.
Yeah.
Did you get the drill on the Shake app?
I didn't.
You didn't?
I think I have the Shake app.
Okay.
That reminds me
You
to double
do.
check.
I know you do.
I have
You just didn't have the volume up.
I have the alerts turned off because we have, when you're in the studio, you can't have that noise go off and it go over the air.
That's true.
Because that's illegal.
Plus, Paul usually has 5 or 6 dogs at his house and he just bark and give you the
Sure.
alert whether or not
Yeah.
the earthquake or the shakeout.
Leo barks enough for 5 or 6 dogs just on his own. Let's take a look what's happening weather-wise here. Nothing alarming there, nothing that we're going to be seeing anything too dramatic headed towards the Bay Area, but another atmospheric river is going to be taking aim towards the Pacific Northwest as we head into the weekend. This one is going to aim its energy and its moisture farther off to our north. I think the closest we're going to see any showers getting to the Bay Area is going to be some activity headed towards the north coast of California. Here's the radar simulation as we head through the next couple of days. We'll take you all the way through Sunday morning, and you're going to see that rain showing up. There it is, hitting the coast of Washington with plenty of snow in the Cascades and other higher elevations. And that rain steadily makes its way farther and farther to the south, but you see Washington and Oregon get the lion's share of the moisture, just a little bit sneaking down towards Northern California. But our turn will come around. This is the 6 to 10 day rainfall outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, and this shade of green indicates pretty strong signal that we're going to get back into a wet weather pattern. It's not going to be days 6 or 7. Those were in the 7-day forecast, and we're entirely dry there. But beyond that, and the 8 to 14 day outlook also shows a strong signal towards wetter than average weather. So it looks like a pretty active end to the month of October after we get through the next 7 or so dry days. Let's take a look outside right now as we look out from the Mark Hopkins Hotel to the west, where the sun is just about to dip below the horizon. Those sunset times getting earlier and earlier. Temperatures are in the 60s across the board, anywhere from 61 degrees in San Francisco to just below 70 in both Concord and in Santa Rosa. It was another cooler than average day, but we'll make up for that tomorrow. Temperatures are going to warm up in a pretty good hurry once the sun comes up. Good dog walking weather still, though, for our adoptable dog of the day from the East County Animal Shelter. This is the appropriately named, given his coloring, Cloud. He's not going to see much of his namesake overhead tomorrow. Some early morning fog and low cloud cover. That'll be gone quickly, with temperatures warming up, pleasantly warm in the afternoon, reaching up into the mid to upper 70s in the Tri-Valley. Other inland spots, though, are going to make it up into the low 80s for the first time in several days. Let's take a look at Futurecast's depiction of that fog as we head through tonight. It'll take its time kind of getting its act back together, but eventually it will try to spread across the bay and make at least some intrusion into those inland valleys by early tomorrow morning. Don't think it's going to last too long. Once the sun comes up, that fog should dissipate quickly, and temperatures, again, are going to warm up at a pretty good pace. The warmest readings we'll have seen since last Sunday, with high temperatures, a mix of 70s and 80s inland. 81 degrees in San Jose is about 5 degrees above normal. 83 in Morgan Hill, the warm spot across the entire Bay Area. A mix of upper 70s and low 80s east of the Oakland Hills. Mostly 70s around the bay, but up to 80 in Redwood City. Still 60s at the coast here, consistent. Temperatures in the North Bay, though, getting up into the mid to upper 70s to close to 80 degrees around Healdsburg by tomorrow afternoon. Check out the 7-day forecast. The warmth sticks around on Saturday. We back off a little bit, but just some subtle little ups and downs to our temperatures until we hit the end of next week. It's when we dip just a little bit more. But the whole 7-day forecast is dry. We'll see some passing clouds on Sunday as that atmospheric river misses us to the north into the Pacific Northwest. But no moisture out of those clouds for us. Bayside temperatures stay in the 70s across the board, and you're mostly going to be in the 60s at the coast with some of the warmest days approaching 70 degrees for high temperatures, most likely on Saturday, then again to start next week. Just beyond the 7-day forecast, 8 to 14-day time frame, that's when it looks like things are going to get a bit more active. So we're not done with the rain chances quite yet, even though they're taking a break for the next 7 days or so.
A little break for us.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Paul. All right, up next. Look at this. Yeah, it's a spooky sight, red and gold frights. We're going to take you to the Bay Area's scariest Halloween display if you're a Niners fan. Plus, here's a look at what's ahead on the CBS Evening News.
I'm Elaine Quijano in Montclair, New Jersey, one of many towns seeing a surge in e-bike sales. What are the consequences? That's tonight's Eye on America.
Well, everybody copes with heartbreak differently, and one 49ers fan in Alameda is channeling his disappointment over the team's wave of injuries in a creative Halloween display. Take a look. He's turned his front yard into a makeshift injury tent, featuring a long line of skeletons dressed as injured 49ers players, including Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Brock Purdy, and George Kittle, while skeletons of Mac Jones and Christian McCaffrey, much like their real-life counterparts, hold down the fort on the field. We heard from Casey, the mastermind behind this cathartic Halloween display.
After the first game, Kittle got hurt and several other people got hurt. And then the next game, Purdy got hurt and Bosa. And then we're like, oh, you know what? We should set up a concussion protocol tent. And hopefully no more of them will get injured because we're running out of space here in the yard here.
The display even gets updated as players come off the injured list. So last week, Casey switched out Juwan Jennings for Warner. And it's not just injuries. On the edge of display is a skeleton of now former Niners kicker Jake Moody with a suitcase on his way to Chicago. All right, what kind of candy are they serving up? What do you think? Jawbreakers? Football? Chocolates? CBS Evening News is next on KPIX. Local news always on our streaming service. See you at 7.